Rebel on the radio, baby.
Okay.
Hey, Ben.
Hi, Pat. How's it going, man?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. I'm good. Long day.
Yeah, I've seen on the social media stuff, lots of people joining you today and having a little look round. But thanks for giving me
Yeah, a lot of our
a
stuff. Yeah,
thanks for giving me a few minutes anyway. I mean, you're a bit of a legend in Bristol, not just in rugby world, but I think a lot of people know about what's been going on with the rugby, obviously. But do you find that you get people come up to you on the street quite a bit?
thankfully, very pleasantly saying hi or well done, and loving Bristol, loving the Bears,
Yeah,
loving what we're doing, and that's real sense of pride and enjoyment because that's what we're about. That's our vision, to inspire them, to inspire our community, by success on and off the field. So it's just affirmation of the work that all the staff and players are doing, and it's great because obviously there's people I don't know, but they and I feel great that they genuinely feel they can come up and say thank you or well done, and so it's all positive.
that's great. I mean, when you talk about community a lot, is that something that was instilled in you when you were a lot younger, when you were being brought up in rugby?
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, the thing is, it's family. My mum is one of 11. My grandfather on my dad's side was one of 23.
Right.
And in the Pacific Islands in Samoa, a lot of extended families, so a lot of cousins, and everyone's together, and there's lots of celebration and dances and singing and lots of food.
Yeah.
So it's just it's very very much huggy and everyone family together. It's a team sport, it's that's why I think a lot of us, or certainly myself, gravitated to team sport because it is like family. You have a goal and you work together, and then when you play sport, you play for your school, and there's a real sense of pride of representing your school and all that goes with it, and then it's your province, or you come back to New Zealand, then it's your country, and so. Then when you come into a club, that's why I love the fact coming here that when Steve Lansdowne and Chris Boyd talked about Bristol, the Bristolians, the people, man, I could sense just them. I didn't know these people, but I could sense they had a real pride in where they're from.
Yeah, that's great.
Fantastic. That's what I signed up for, that they wanted some rugby success. And so they talked about that, but they wanted it for the people. And so all I did was put it into that sort of framework. When
you joined the club, though, you did say you wanted to make a few changes, and that was something that was going to happen. If you want Pat Lam to come and work at Bristol, you're going to have to accept a few changes. Was that one of the things that you wanted to change? Was the community maybe lacking back in 2016?
No, it was more about I wanted an idea. So if Steve just said to me, Pat, I just want to win rugby, and just do what it takes to win, I probably wouldn't have come here.
Yeah,
but it's not me. It's not what I could, because it's not about winning. The winning is the outcome. It's got to be something that transcends rugby. It's got to be something meaningful, and something that's like it becomes where I'm not going to work. I'm going to be somewhere I enjoy being. That's sort of when that resonated with me. But right. The changes came on the back when I spoke with the staff and the players, and I put up the last 10 years. Previously, before I arrived, of where Bristol finished and where they played. Obviously, there's a lot of championship, there was a lot of relegation and promotion, but a lot of time. And I just asked people, I said, well, before I arrived, this is where it's been. What do you think? And I got everyone to have a discussion about it. And the feedback came from, well, it's not good enough. It's not good enough. We probably need to change it. I said, great. That's exactly what I need to do here and what I'm going to do. Now, don't get me wrong. There's some wonderful things that have been going on, and we'll look at that and we'll build on that. But certainly we needed to make some change because, it's the old saying, if you're the insanity of doing the same thing, hoping for a different result. And so we worked on that basis, but the community thing was already established because of the vision. That's once Steve and Chris told me that's what it is. then I made it very clear everything we're going to be doing is around this. So it's not my vision, it's theirs.
Yeah.
All I do is put the plan together and to get everyone going in the same way, and everything comes back to our community.
What about when it doesn't go that well? So you've got a game like the Harlequins game, the last game of the season last year. I mean, that was a horror show in at the end. It's, I suppose, the question is, when do you try and leave that at the ground? That frustration, or is your wife watching on the telly going, oh, he's not going to be happy when he comes in, and you slam the door and sort of go, hi Pat, did you see what happened? 28-0 we were up, that sort of thing. What's that? What's sort of the story there?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. No, not like, don't get me wrong. I love the game and I'm passionate for the game, and because all your emotions in life all come out, from being excited to being depressed about it, being happy, sad, all of that sort of stuff. But I think at the end of the day, when you focus on outcome, if you're just a team that focuses on what the results, without a doubt, we probably would feel like that. But the growth that we've made in 4 years, I mean, you just have to look now where we were when I first arrived and the conversations we were having. And as you said, no one came up to me then. But that growth hasn't been this sort of straight line. The big thing, it's gone up and down, up and down. But every time we've gone up, we've gone back further than we were. And that's because those times we go down, we've asked the hard questions. What did we do well here? But what can we do better? And then that's driven us. So we haven't been all consuming on the results and it's like, oh, we got to win or lose. We've been on the process of how what we've done and what we could do better. Yeah. So don't get me wrong, I was gutted after that game, but on the Sunday, I got up and I just said, take away all the peripheral. That was a semi-final, big game. We blew it. We should have been in the final. And all I did is strip it back to the game of rugby. I looked through it and I took the players through it the next day around same thing. Look, fellas, this was done really well. This is excellent. But then we went through and did, in relation to our game plan and what our jobs were, we got a few things wrong. And we have to learn from it and we'll bounce back. And the pleasing thing is I've never been more determined in a preseason or a season, which I have now.
Yeah.
But what I love is that I've come in and everyone else is the same, and I can say that by the way that the guys have come back and the way we're training in these 3 weeks of preseason. It's certainly at another level, which certainly that game and others are driving us, because it's probably our most successful season, but it's probably the game that hurt the most at the end, but will drive us onto other things.
Yeah, well, I'm not taking it for granted. I've been supporting Bristol for a long time, since I was about 5 years old. Like a season before you were there, I remember standing in Rotherham, hammering down with rain. There's not many people there. So, I mean, nowadays when you go to Ashton Gate and it's packed, it's great to see. I think every fan will agree with that. And hopefully may that continue. But if in 2023, your contract sort of up then and you've achieved what you wanted with Bristol, I mean, Europe, Premiership, would that maybe make a difference to whether or not you carry on? Or are you always going to be looking for a new goal? You're ever going to be satisfied, Pat? You're always going to be searching?
No, I think the big thing, and that's why I love the vision, is about inspiring our community. Like when we won the Challenge Cup and massive day, but that's just a moment of inspiration. So that's the vision, but the vision goes on. And then, when the guys before COVID were doing some unbelievable work in the community or in the hospitals, like that's moments of inspiration. When we beat Bath and the crowd were going crazy, that's inspiration as well. So the beauty of the vision is that it's not just on the field, it's everything we do, we can inspire. So that's my main role, is to ensure that the structures and systems are in place, the culture's in place. When I say culture, this is how we do things. And then finding the right staff and players to come through to keep it growing. Because I always say, the relationships are massive, how we build, because it's more when we're under pressure, we can be honest, true, get asked those hard questions like after a semi-final and then grow, which is what we've done. But ultimately, everyone's main currency is their performance, and everyone has to be world-class or aim to be world-class. And because if I don't do my job, I'm sacked. That's the reality. But the same onus is on every single person, whether you are, the lead, the captain of the team, or whether you're the media manager or the kit man. Everyone has that requirement to be your best, because if everyone does that, we all grow.
That's great. And I know you've got to shoot off now, Pat, because your man there, Tom, said that we've only got a few minutes, but obviously this is more of a music-based show, and this is a Bristol community show. That's why I wanted you on. I'm a big fan, and I just wondered if you got a couple of favourite tunes we might be able to stick in this segment.
Well, I am a bit of a 70s fan, but I do like lots of music. Let's see, a song. I'll tell you one is, geez, let me hear it. I've got so many. Hold on, let me pull up my list here.
I put you on the spot. Finally, someone's put you on the spot.
I put it on. I'm putting on my all the 70s stuff, like the disco. I love it, and I love the clothes, the hair, all those afros back there. You'd do a good one, a bit to keep growing.
So you don't have to tell me that, Pat. I've certainly mastered that style.
Right, so I put my disco playlist up, mate, and I'll tell you some of the things that are on here. Pat's 70s disco. All right. Blame it on the boogie.
Yeah.
Jackson, Best of My Love, The Emotions, Boogie Wonderland, Earth, Wind and Fire, Play That Funky Music, Wild Cherry, Rock the Boat, Hughes Corporation, Staying Alive, The Bee Gees. There's a good one I love here too. Never Too Much, Luther Vandross. Legend.
That's a classic. All right then, Pat. Well, I'll make sure I put a couple of those on for you, and I really appreciate your time. And hopefully another time we might be able to get a bit more. And I've got loads of questions here.
Yeah, hey, listen, I was going to say that. I mean, it's been a long day, and we tried to squeeze it in here. So Tom asked me, and I knew it was going to be tight. But mate, let's. I'll talk to Tom. Let's find a time, and let's get a bit longer, because I love these these sort of interviews away from the rugby way.
I think I've got some really interesting questions for you, and I'd love to ask another time if we can do that, maybe, mate.
Yeah, okay. Well, let's try and do that. Definitely, I'm keen to do that, mate.
All right. Thank you very much for your time, Pat. Cheers, mate.
Good, mate. Cheers, mate. Bye-bye.
Pat Lam, Pat Lam. Pat Lam, Pat Lam. Pat Lam, Pat Lam.
Rebel on the radio, baby.